my name is Kate Weaver, and I'm from Eastern Canada, and I came to Swiss Medica for stem cell treatment on the advice of my ophthalmologist. I was officially diagnosed with the glaucoma in 2012. Before then, I had some trouble focusing clearly. I wasn't reading well. My vision was not as strong as it was. If some of the damage around that can be repaired, it would be wonderful. Everything, they had meals ready, everything was set for me. So I felt that I was being cared for, and they were preparing to care for me before I even got here, which was a very nice feeling.
Pleasure to see you here, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can you please introduce yourself for our viewers and tell us what brings you to Swiss Medica?
Okay, my name is Kate Weaver, and I'm from Eastern Canada, and I came to Swiss Medica for stem cell treatment on the advice of my ophthalmologist, who had offered nothing else that would be helpful at this point for my nerve damage due to glaucoma. So his recommendation was you could try stem cell therapy, and I researched all the different places I could online and talked with places in quite a few areas, and Swiss Medica seemed to have the best responses and were very comfortable with all my questions. So this is why I chose to come here.
So you've been for already about 5 days here, or
Yes.
a little bit more than that.
Yes.
Can you walk us through step by step? You came from another part of the world.
Yes.
Was anything painful? Was that how was the process? Was it rough or
You
smooth?
opened it up, there was a baby screaming on the airplane for the whole overnight flight, and it was dreadful. If I could have gotten my sleep, I likely would have arrived happily. But once I got to Serbia, I was met at the airport, and the driver has wonderful old-fashioned music that I love. The music I grew up with was playing in his car, and I was warmly welcomed at the clinic by all the people that had been introduced electronically to me. I got into my room. My son was traveling with me as my companion caregiver. Everything, they had meals ready, everything was set for me. So I felt that I was being cared for, and they were preparing to care for me before I even got here, which was a very nice feeling.
Regarding your ophthalmological problems, when was the onset of symptoms, and what other treatments were available to you?
Okay, I was officially diagnosed with the glaucoma in 2012 and started a type of eye drops every day in both eyes. Before then, I had some trouble focusing clearly. I wasn't reading well. My vision was not as strong as it was. And I went to see the first ophthalmologist on the list, and unfortunately, nothing seemed to work with that person. His equipment was fairly outdated. For example, when they check your optic pressures, it was still a blast of air, which makes you close, and it doesn't give us good measurements. I was eventually switched to a second ophthalmologist who was more current, had better equipment, and treated me with different medications for the glaucoma. And he has followed me, every 6 months for a number of years. And on the 5th year, we did surgery for the cataracts that had formed. And that improved the vision in one eye quite a bit. But the other eye, once the cataracts were removed, he could see that there was a lot of damage. He couldn't tell so clearly until then. And so we continued the eye drops, which is the only real treatment that I was made aware of that could be done for glaucoma. And in a pinch, the last time I looked at him, I said, "Is there nothing else? I have a feeling my eyes are getting worse. And if there is something available, I want to know." So he looked and he said, "Well, you could try stem cell therapy."
But he didn't mention that right away. He was following you for some time.
Oh, I think 2015, yeah, almost 9 years before. we could see that the treatment wasn't it wasn't repairing anything, and that glaucoma continued to get worse, and that the vision continued to decrease. The left eye in particular, it was very difficult. I couldn't read. I still can't see very much up close with that eye or far away.
Props to your ophthalmologist, really, because it's uncommon, since stem cells are relatively new technology and are still to be experimental, for him to actually not only support but to advise such a step.
He's very young. He's likely older than you. However, he looks about 17 years old. One of these brilliant young people. And I trusted him because his judgment is good. He also founded the one and only eye clinic in my city. And so instead of the 5-year wait for surgery for cataracts, I was able to get in less than a year. So he's made wonderful progress in our whole community. And I try, every time I would ask him a question, he would have answers, and it was always based on the latest technology. But he also repeated what you said. He said it's not mainstream treatment yet. He said with enough research, hopefully it will be. But this is, you asked what could possibly be helpful. We've tried all of what current science and medicine knows, and I said this would be about the only thing that might make the difference.
And yourself, what are your hopes for the after treatment?
I hope I get some improvement. I have no idea. I don't expect I'll have like 20/20 in both eyes and see well, but if I get some improvement in my vision, I'll be happy. My visual fields in particular have been very limited, and if some of the damage around that can be repaired, it would be wonderful.
What is the most difficult part for you? Any hobby that you are unable to do anything?
I'm still able to read and write. That's my primary focus. I write all the time, so I'm at my computer a lot. I knit by memory, which is what I like to do. So there's lots of holes in the socks and things. That's how it goes. I do like to read, but I can't read as much as I used to now. And that's sad because I'm a very avid reader. Other than that, the rest of the things, and I've swung my interest into things like gardening, which don't require, I've likely pulled a few plants out with the weeds, but it's okay. I have adapted around it. But if my vision could improve a little more, so I wouldn't get so tired trying to read, and if I could knit a little better, I'd be fine.
That's good. And that I would like to, for some conclusion of this testimonial, to ask you, would you have any kind of advice or an insight to share regarding the stem cells or your condition?
Regarding my condition, I followed all the current evidence, the drops and the keeping appointments. So I have done all of that. I think more ophthalmologists and more care providers need to be more aware of the power of stem cells. They're hopelessly ignorant over a lot of it. And in fact, they don't, they would say, well, make sure you get optic stem cells. I said, well, I think they divide inside. I don't think there's special kinds like that. So I think a lot of people need to come on board with it. Now, you asked me a second part.
It was nothing painful, nothing to... You received IVs, right?
I received the stem cells through IVs. Well, I did have a bit of a reaction, and we're still not sure. It's likely to the first set of stem cells, and I got a little bit of a rash, which they treated. And then with the second one, my blood pressure went up a bit, which they treated. So I expected all, that it wouldn't be totally smooth sailing. I'm not a very young person anymore, and I thought some things would happen, but nothing super uncomfortable. And in all cases, the nurses and doctors were able to pick it up, likely as quickly as I did, and manage it. And I felt the treatment was very appropriate. The meds I was given for blood pressure and the cream for the rash, and it's gone now pretty well.
Thank you so much for making this testimonial video with us.